Today we're making a simple goose, and for this project you're going to need a 1x1 inch piece of wood, a pencil and a knife. But I'm also going to be using this knife as a roughing knife. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make these two circular curves from about the halfway point of these edges. So from here and from here, connecting them. So this point connecting to this point, and the same over here. And then we're going to remove these sharp edges. So just a few rough cuts. I think at this point, at least 2 or 3 of my projects start this exact same way. That's good enough for now. Then we're going to do the same for one of these remaining edges, except that we're going to leave about 1/2 inch of space over here on the top. We're not going to touch that, that's going to remain sharp, but apart from that, we can round this edge. We're probably not going to need this area over here, but it's good to leave a little bit of extra space for the head, especially at this point when you don't yet know that much about the different proportions of the goose. Next I'm going to divide this length in half, and then I'm going to divide this length in half and draw a straight line down to here. And this is where we have the corner between the back and the neck. But the neck is not going to be a straight line like this, which is why we're going to leave that as it is right now. And instead we're going to make this back first. Just a little bit of curvature, not a completely straight line. Something like that from this point to the corner over here. And now that we have the angle of the back, we can sketch something that looks pleasing. So looking at this back, I want it to be at an angle that's something like that. And then I can draw a curve from here that looks reasonable. I'm going to make it so that it's about 1/2 inch from this corner, like that, and just a slight curvature. Now over here we have this area that's unnecessary, and we can carve it away with some V-cuts. That's good enough for now. And now it's already clear. There's way too much mass over here. So I'm gonna draw a line from here, from the middle. Just basically an offset curve of this. Something like that. That leaves a good amount of space over here for the head and the neck. We don't need to be any more specific than that right now. And then I can take all of this off. A few sweeping cuts get the job done. Next we can make this neck and head area a lot thinner. So over here above this line we're only going to save about 1/3 of this thickness. So over here I can divide this into 3 and save the 1/3 in the middle. But then over here we want the neck to be slightly thicker, so I'm gonna make these lines curve a little bit like that. And now with a few sweeping cuts we can remove this extra wood from the sides. Like that. Next we're gonna work on the head a little bit, and that's we're gonna start by taking away this corner and making it round. That's round enough. And then this remaining face over here, the end point of this piece of wood, we're gonna turn into a single edge. It's gonna be in the center here. Just something like that. And now here we have a pretty decent start for the beak. And to continue it, I'm going to sketch the underside of the beak. just a straight line like that. And notice here that I'm not starting it directly from the tip of the beak, but just a bit lower so that we can reserve a little bit of extra wood over here that we can then later on slim down. And then from this point, we're going to draw a curve that creates an area for something that looks like a proportionate neck. You can check a few reference images to get a better idea. And then again, over here, the neck is going to be slightly wider and the line is going to connect to this chest over here. I'm starting with V-cuts, cutting from these sharp edges so that I can easily remove some of this wood. And then moving on to the center, like that. And then this pushcut version of the sweeping cut works very well over here. And it kind of turns into this stop cut when the cuts meet this corner. Now is the time to do a little bit of rounding, but we're only going to do that over here on the top parts. We're not going to touch this edge. So I'm just making these small push cuts to get rid of these unnecessary sharp edges. Pairing cuts are also useful. We also need to make some stop cuts to continue this inside corner slightly to the sides. What I'm doing here is something I call a reverse push cut. So instead of pushing this way, I'm pushing against the knife to give it some support, and then I'm creating the cutting motion with the twist of my wrist. Another option is you can make push cuts from this direction, but the point is that you need to make cuts both this way and this way, because otherwise you're going to be cutting against the grain and you'll most likely chip half of the neck off. The chest can also be a lot rounder. At the moment it's way too pointy. Something like that is much better. I think I've said this in a different video too, but one thing I've noticed since I've been using this glove is that I have way more options for holding on to what I'm carving. The grip is just so much better, so I barely have to do anything and the piece still stays in my hand very well. At this point I'm also trying to slim down the neck so that it's actually round. Now it's a little bit wider this way compared to this way, so I'm going to take away some of this wood from the sides. One of the key things while slimming down the neck is that if the blade gets stuck, don't force it, just readjust and cut from somewhere else. Because due to this curvature, there are parts, especially in the middle here, where it might seem like you can cut one way, but then the blade gets stuck and it feels like if you cut, you're gonna chip off a bigger piece than you'd want, but then that just means that you need to switch the direction. Next we're going to slim down the beak, and the end result is going to be something like this. So we're just going to make a few sweeping cuts, then a few here on the top of the beak, and then a few more on the sides so that we get this kind of like a triangular shape. Then we can make a few sweeping cuts over here. This is something that really makes a difference when carving these kinds of birds like geese and ducks and swans. And then the same on the other side. Once you're happy with the head and the neck, it's time to make something that the goose can stand on. So it's not going to be like this. We're going to make this edge flat from here. And for that, I'm going to estimate about where the center of mass would be, probably somewhere here. So then I'm going to make a line that's in a 90-degree angle to this. Something like that. And then I'm gonna make a little flat area over here. Like that. I'm noticing here that it's gonna very easily tip forward. So I'm gonna extend this slightly further back over here. If you want to make this perfect, you can do a little bit of sanding. But it works well like this too. That's a lot more stable now. Now we can still adjust this. So we don't want to make the feet yet. Instead we want to carve this area because that's going to affect the weight balance. And if it turns out that by removing this edge and making it round, the goose is going to tip forward, then we can still make changes over here. And then after that we can carve the feet. So right now over here I'm going to turn these edges into round outside curves, but I'm gonna leave the tip of the tail pointy. Now at this point you gotta be very careful not to break the neck, because even just by squeezing this too hard, I could easily break this. It depends on what wood you're using, but if it's very soft, you don't want to be applying pressure to the neck or the head. We're also going to make this part a lot nicer and rounder. So that means extending these curves a bit more inward, and then also making a few sweeping cuts here behind this flat area. The shape of the body you're going to want to make is going to depend on what kind of goose you're making. So I'm going to be making a Canada goose. So I want the thickest part of this figure to be somewhere around here, but for a domestic goose, the body can be a little bit more bottom heavy, like it is now in this case. So I'm going to be turning this blocky shape into a little bit more of a water droplet shape. Next it's time to make the basic shape of the legs. And it's going to be something like this. We're just making a stop cut over here. Once you get this shape going, the cuts can be more like V cuts, because that way you're going to be able to make the feet thinner and slightly downturned like that. And then we can extend these cuts to the sides to make the stomach area rounder. You can also make a few sweeping cuts on the sides, because the feet don't need to be that far apart. So this is what this looks like right now, just a basic water droplet shape that way. And then here we have a little bit more shape But it's also kind of like a water droplet shape, except for this part, which is slightly thicker. And next we're going to make the wings, and that's pretty much the final step. Now the wings of a goose, I think, are a very interesting thing. Unlike with many other projects that I've made, with wings like these, with a sharp edge right here, that's not something that we're going to make with this one. Instead, I'm going to draw this curve over here. Doesn't even go all the way, just something like this. And then I'm going to make a V-cut with the tip of the blade. And what we're looking for in terms of this profile is just 2 bumps with no sharp edges, except this one inward corner. So from here, I'm cutting with the tip of the blade. And then I'm making both sides, so over here and over here, very round. And this will create that full and fluffy appearance of a goose. Next, I'm going to be adding a little bit of additional detail. You can skip this part if you want, but it's not that much harder to make than the wings. And it can make a big difference in how your figure looks. I'm going to continue that line over here like this. So I'm going to be turning this V-cut so that it curves like that. And then one more line. This is going to be easier. It's going to go like this from the curve to the tip of the tail. And that one is going to be a sharp corner. Like that. And then I'm going to be making this on the other side too. Then a few sweeping cuts on the back to separate the wings from each other. And apart from a little cleanup your figure might need, that's it for the project.